defend our island whenever the coast may be. We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender, and if, which I do not for a moment believe, this island or a large part of it was subjugated and starving, and our empire beyond the seas, armed and guarded by the British people, carry on the struggle until in God's kingdom, the new world with all its power steps towards rescue and the liberation. And also will be with the USAF all during the weekend. Stop by and visit with them. They're a great bunch of ladies, and they're here to entertain the troops and keep morale up, and I think they're doing a great job. Now, okay, whoops. Nothing like a little bit of food to wake you up in the morning. I want to point out that quad 50 on that half track. Now there is a world of hurt if you ever saw one. It could do anti-aircraft duty and also lay an awful lot of lead downrange to put a world of hurt on the enemy. Another popular item, another way that they took the Dodge Power Wagon and configured it again was to use it as an ambulance. Again, almost all of the military vehicles that you see are four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, and they were used extensively during the war. Now you see staff cars. After 1941, there was no vehicle production for the civilian market. Anything that was used for military purposes. So what they did was they took existing vehicles and just continued production on them so that they could get them out quickly and use them where they were necessary during the war. That's a 1940 Plymouth. Again, converted into a staff car. Very typical Plymouth, Packards, Fords, anything that you could, Chryslers, used as staff cars. Once again, another WC Dodge Power Wagon, being used in a number of different roles. Sometimes they bring
And that gang is the bunch that actually changed the clutch in my Jeep 2 years ago when I was in serious distress. It's an M3A1 half-track, and it really isn't broken, but just to demonstrate what that truck is capable of. And if I'm not mistaken, the top speed of that working France tow truck is about 25 miles an hour. So he doesn't move too fast down the road. More Jeeps. Jeeps are actually very popular once again because not only in the military vehicle collector world, because they fit in your garage. You don't necessarily need a pole barn or anything big to be able to store it. From an ambulance, they actually put railroad wheels on them and use them to move freight cars. They put machine guns on them. They put just about any manner of way that you could think of using a Jeep, that's what they use it for. And bringing up the rear, we have a couple of more configurations of the venerable Dodge Power Wagon. Again, if you want to go down and talk to the vehicle owners and see what it's like to own one of these vintage vehicles, you can head on down to the main ramp. The main ramp, they will actually open the hood up for you. They can talk to them about that, what it's like to own a military vehicle or a vintage vehicle of these types. World War II weekend itself has actually made them very, very popular. Once again, I apologize for not getting every WC number right and not getting every auto car and other vehicle correct. What happens here is we are actually primarily an airfield, and when things have to go and the ground boss says they go, we go. So I didn't get enough time quite to prep, and that's my own fault, and I apologize for that. On the other hand, we appreciate that the vehicle owners have brought them out today for us to see. And why don't we just give them a nice round of applause and show them our appreciation for what they did for us to be able to see these vehicles in action. You're not going to see a lot of movement today. The crowds will be too big. It's too difficult to get through. And safety, as I preached for the last couple of hours, is our primary concern here at World War II weekend. So this is an opportunity to not only see them in action as they roll past you, but to also to ask questions. So we'll continue on here with World War II weekend once again. I'm going to remind you throughout the afternoon, and I guarantee you Fast Eddie will do the same thing later on. Water up, sunblock up. Get yourself all squared away, because once the action starts, you're going to be spending too much time with the camera, too much time with the camcorder, and even that cell phone to even worry about taking care of yourself. So do that now. And we'll talk to you again real soon.
I know who you are.
Purely American nickname. One American soldier, one shot, knocked out a German force. Another Yank officer knocked out 2 Japanese tanks. The birth of the dramatic tale. Tale first right today by General Electric Engineer, manufacturing group, to deliver a rocket gun requested by the Army Ordnance Department. It took 4 days to build the first bazooka. After 2 weeks of testing, production was started. 7 days later, the Army's entire first order for several thousand had been completed. And today, the bazooka is playing an important part on every battlefield. This is Dr. Edward speaking, General Electric Company, first in the world of electrical research in radio and electronics, in electric household appliances, and air control, electric light and power, and all industry and transportation. General Electric today every weekday night at the same time, and tomorrow night on another network, the General Electric project will find the undiscovered voice of America, broadcast on the General Electric Walker Walking Tour. Back to attack by another war bomb. CBS is also broadcasting.
Okay, as the crowd starts to build and the heat starts to build in the day and the sun gets higher in the sky, once again, I'm going to remind you, I'm going to do it all day because today is a very dangerous day. And I say that because the sun is warm, it'll burn you, and you will dehydrate, and you will not feel well for a long time, okay? I have had sunstroke and heat stroke. You don't want it. Believe me, you don't want it. Take a minute right now. It's not getting real busy. We're going to start flying in about an hour. And make sure you take the time now to get the sunblock on. I'm going to do the same thing and take a little bit of my own medicine. And also make sure that you stay hydrated. I would suggest you stay away from caffeine. There's that punctuation mark again, one of my favorites. Okay, the other thing I'm going to pass along as far as safety goes is there is no smoking here at World War II weekend, and the one thing that really makes me feel good today is I have not gotten one report of a smoker, especially the guys that do so under airplane wings. So keep up the good work and back the attack, Mac. Don't smoke on the airfield here because we don't want you to have to do that. Safety up, water up, sunscreen up. No smoking. Stand by. We got more for you and a lot of action even going on just as the ride aircraft go in and out to give you a feel of what it would be like at a World War II Army airfield here at World War II weekend at the Mid-Atlantic Air Museum.
This episode of the Life of Sherlock Holmes will be transmitted while men and women overseas by shortwave and the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Petri Wine brings you Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce in the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Steady looter, the man that knows the difference between a bucket of prop wash and a muffler bearing.
You guys get lined up.
So once again, our visiting dignitaries are going to step down and address the crowd briefly. And at that point, we will move on and begin the flying portion of our program here at World War II Weekend.
The President of the United States and I have agreed to meet here at the great Army Air Force Base at Reading to discuss the progress and execution of the war. I have good news for everyone. The Battle of Leyte Gulf is won. We have prevailed. Our Navy and Naval Air Forces have sunk 4 aircraft carriers, 3 battleships, 9 cruisers, and 14 destroyers, and have shot down over 300 aircraft. Now, this is not the time to rest on our laurels. I ask you in the military to give it your all, and let's finish the job and send the enemy back to his home islands. Now, those of you on the home front, I say, keep sending the guns, the planes, the tanks, so we can bring our boys home. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and God bless America. And now, I would like to introduce some guests of mine from the British Commonwealth of the Burma Campaign, Lord Louis Mountbatten.
To the Prime Minister, as of this morning, capital of Burma, Rangoon, has been retaken. As we stay to the left flank of General MacArthur in the Southeast Asia Command, our British troops have been augmented by all Commonwealth forces, and I want to salute them for their perseverance and capacity in a very difficult situation. Right now, General Slim is engaging Japanese 14th Army at Imphal and has surrounded them at Kohima. None of this is possible without the perseverance, as I said before, of the Commonwealth forces, the Australians, New Zealand, Canadians, South Africans, Indian, and our Gurkha forces who form the Commonwealth. I want to thank especially the American Air Forces for what they do in resupplying us in these jungle conditions. We will pursue these Japanese until they are defeated, all the way to Japan if necessary. But not just in Japan. We've also done this in North Africa, Sicily, Italy, and now on the continent in France, Holland, and Belgium. And so I say, God bless America, and God save the King.
Thank you, sir. And now I'd like to introduce one of our greatest admirals, Admiral Spruance.
Thank you, General MacArthur. On behalf of Admiral Nimitz and the Commander-in-Chief of Pacific Fleet, the turning point of the war was the Battle of Midway. Through the courage, determination, and grit of our fighting forces, we prevailed and sunk 4 Jap carriers, with the loss of only 1 of ours. I want to take a moment to thank all the men who participated in that battle. We moved on then to the Battle of the Philippine Sea, which we also prevailed and won the Battle of Leyte Gulf. We're on our way now to Okinawa to see if we can't clean up the rest of this mess and meet the Japs on their home territory. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the commander of all our air forces, and the name this museum was made for, General Spatz.
It is always nice to be here in Reading, near my hometown of Boyertown. I'm proud of all our men and women, both civilian and military, who've helped to make our U.S. Army Air Forces the best in the world. General Goering was quoted as saying that the day Allied bombers fly over the Ruhr, you could call him Meyer. Well, I guess he now has to change his name, because not only is our Air Force, along with our British allies, flying over the Ruhr, we are dominating the skies all over Europe. Our fighter groups are clearing the air of enemy aircraft, not just over Europe, but also over Japan and the South Pacific. We've been concentrating our attacks on the enemy's ability to wage war. But the war is not over. We still need to persevere in our fight for victory. We still need the men and women of this great country to continue the fine work they have been doing, either through purchasing war bonds, war production, or military service. Together, we could all help to win this war. Thank you.
Thank you, General Spatz. That concludes our presentation. However, I want to make a special mention to all the men and women, the managers, the owners, the aircraft owners, and all the reenactors, for this is the 30th anniversary of the Mid-Atlantic Air Museum. Congratulations, everybody.
We'd like to thank our visiting dignitaries today for the updates on the efforts of the war so far, and also for the kind remarks for everyone here at World War II weekend who makes it all possible for you. At this time, what I would like to do is I would like to present the start of our show today. And at this time, I would ask that you would please stand, rise if you can. Please remove your caps. If you are in proper military uniform, prepare for a proper military salute. If you are a veteran also, that counts for you. I would like to present for you Reading's very own Miss Teresa Eamon, who will sing for us our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
How about a great round of applause for Reading's very own Miss Teresa Eamon. Thank you, Teresa. That was terrific. Thank you very much. We're now going to start the flying portion of our program here today, and I'm going to turn the mic over in about 30 seconds to my good friend Fast Eddie Luter, who will walk you through all the spins and circles and props and everything else that goes on here this afternoon at World War II weekend. Take it over, Fast Eddie. It's all yours, buddy.
Annual World War II weekend. Oh, it's great to be back. We're going to start out slow, but we're going to end big. You all have been here before, and for those of you newcomers, welcome. We're glad to see you. Now, coming up, we're going to be launching in a moment our L-birds. These are the Liaison Aircraft. They're also called grasshoppers, and nowadays they're also known as war bugs. We've got two kinds of war aircraft here. We've got war birds, we've got war bugs. You're going to see what war bugs are all about in just a moment as you see them taxiing out here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8 of them. This is going to be fun figuring out who's flying who, but with help from Greg Whitmer, our air boss here, We're going to make some sense of this. They got drafted into the military just like all of the men did and all of the women in the factories and everything. But these airplanes were important because they flew unarmed and did all of the following. They did close visual artillery support during the battle, medical airlift of critically wounded, photo reconnaissance, military reconnaissance. They ferried saboteurs and spies into remote areas. They shuttled the brass around. They would deliver classified battle plans and messages to the front. They were also rescuing downed pilots and any other task that be accomplished only in a light single-engine aircraft built back in the 40s. Typically, they're covered in fabric, they're built out of lightweight materials, they're low horsepower, and the beautiful part about these airplanes is that they can get in and get out of almost anywhere. Some of these airplanes, you could actually land and take off in the length of a football field, something that was very advantageous to the use of these aircraft, because all of a sudden we had to put people in places where dropping them in via a parachute might be a little risky, or trying to pick them up. You can't pick up a person with a parachute, doesn't work. They tried it. But these airplanes came in handy. As a matter of fact, Rommel himself, for people like me and you, to get into reenactment, you've got yourself a war bug. You can fly into shows such as here with your airplane and say, look, I've got a war bug. This is cool. All right, Douglas Dauntless, the SBD landing here. We will be talking about this aircraft later on. I want to remind you, not only is tomorrow, the 79th anniversary of D-Day, but on June the 2nd, 1942 was the Battle of Midway, the turning point in the Pacific. Unbelievable. We got so lucky on the Battle of Midway. More about that later. In the meantime, we've got all of our war bugs lined up, and we're going to be going out in just a minute. We got 8 of them here, so you're going to get to see a lot of airplanes. We're going to let you listen to them too, but you're going to realize that the sound of these airplanes is a lot like the civilian airplanes that are out here today, the modern day aircraft. Engine technology on light aircraft really hasn't changed that much. And the end result being is that we're going to fly these airplanes. Now I'm believing that this is a Stinson 10A. It's either a 10A or a Stinson L9. I'm going to be looking at it as it goes by here. Another L4 here going by. Come on, baby, kick. There we go. Think happy thoughts. Let's get those engines started. This yellow airplane here, see the civil defense emblem on it? That's a Stinson L9, Peter Rafale flying that. Now here's the crazy part about that airplane. The Civil Air Patrol used several different types. They used Stinson 10As, they used the L9, which you see out there. They also used the Fairchild F-24. The Civil Air Patrol actually took on the German Navy, specifically U-boats. They attacked a couple of U-boats, and they had success. They sank one of them, possibly a second one, all with a light airplane and a couple of 100 pounds of bombs. Go figure. And as a matter of fact, after the war, a German U-boat commander said that they would have come in a lot closer to the east coast of the United States except for those, and I quote here, except for those damn red and yellow airplanes. So apparently the word got out about the Civil Air Patrol taking on German U-boats and making themselves a credible threat. Once again, here come our L-birds going by. The L4 was built by Piper, was also known in civilian lineage as the Piper Cub. There's the L9 Civil Defense, Peter Rafale flying that. You can always tell the Stinson aircraft because they have the big fat rudder on them. But here comes some more of our war bugs. I've had the opportunity to fly a Piper Cub a couple years back. It was a lot of fun. So I can understand the attraction of having these airplanes. Now I'm hoping that you're taking lots of pictures here because this is their last pass. Now probably one of the greatest chapters in L-bird history was written by Charles Bazooka Charlie Carpenter. Now what he did when he arrived over in France, he was flying an L4 and he thought, you know what, I'm seeing way too many German convoys without anybody doing anything about them. So what did he do? He decided to get a hold of some bazookas, 6 of them to be exact. Now here's the great part. The bazooka is electrically fired. So all you need in the cockpit to fire a bazooka would be a push button and a couple of feet of wire. Now he rigged up 6 of these things and he went out and started taking on German armor. And the man had a great deal of success. Now, it turns out he wasn't the only one. There were several other pilots in there with him, specifically Lieutenants Roy Carson and Harley Merrick. Now, Major Carpenter called his airplane Rosie the Rocketeer. I know, you keep thinking Rosie the Riveter. Well, here is Rosie the Rocketeer. And here comes that Commando, gonna go right by us. Let's give them all a wave, everybody. Wave your hat, your program, your hand. It's the World War II aerial demonstration team gonna go up and do their demonstration here in just a few moments, once we recover all of these L-birds. Now check this out. On September 19, near Aricourt, France, Bazooka Charlie attacked a column of Panther tanks in recognition of his bravery and call to duty. Bazooka Charlie was promoted to Lieutenant Colonel, awarded the Bronze Star, the Air Medal with Oak Leaf Cluster, and the Silver Star with Oak Leaf Cluster. Not too bad for a guy with an L-bird. In the end, he took out a couple of tanks. I believe he disabled a Tiger, or maybe even a couple of them. The exact toll of what he did is a little fuzzy depending upon which information source you use. And as we all know, Wikipedia, not the most. But this airplane, up to the job, she could hold twice the amount of weight and cargo as the DC-3. Ladies and gentlemen,